Welcome to Fox1gal Stories. Time to sit back or just turn this off because I have no idea where this is going. I like to share some of my adventures that have came across my path. I have never done anything like this, so let's see what happens. I call myself a simple person. Some may even call this boring. That's okay. Call it what you want. I have tried a little bit of this and I've tried a little bit of that, and I'm not an expert at anything. So since I have no credentials or any fancy title after my name or any paper to say you are qualified to do this or that, so let's just call it a story. I'm not going to preach or teach or anything like that. I just want to share my adventures here, reflecting back and looking forward, looking all around, seeing what's happening. And I don't mind sharing my aha moments, and I don't mind sharing my mess ups. And if you want to take anything from this, please do. And if you want to turn this off or throw shoes at it, go ahead. Feel free to do so. I have this curiosity of life that just doesn't seem to go away. I am a strange one, that is for sure. Never quite fitting in to anything. I never had that so-called big dream. Wonder, I wonder if that's in my blood. Who knows? I've moved around quite a few times. I lived in a few places, from the UP of Michigan to Alabama to Okinawa, Japan to Louisiana. Spent a little time in Texas, and now I'm hanging out in Oklahoma. I think I have settled here for a bit. Not that I don't have that itch to move on, I do. But for now I am here, exploring life. That is what I love to do. And I love to question everything, and at times I can be really irritating. But I encourage everybody to do this. So that maybe at the end of the day, we can just hang out, take some time out, and share some of our adventures with one another here on planet Earth. Too bad the TV gets in the way of these days. So let me try this and see what happens. I came from a small town way up north that I call Uperland. When I was little, folks around me asked me this strange question. I still cannot answer it. What do I want to be when I grow up? I really never knew how to answer this question, so I would just say whatever came to mind. Someone said fireman, I'd say doctor. The truth was I had no clue. I still don't. I'm in my mid-40s and still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I have so many questions, yes, the big ones. Who am I? Why am I here? How did I get myself into this mess again? I have been on this quest for some time. Always looking for something, digging, reading, researching, wondering, contemplating. I don't even know when it happened, but I realized the only thing I was really looking for was me. So looking backward and forward and all around, I like to share some of my adventures. And anytime I asked a question about life, life always seemed to give me the answer. Not always the one I thought I was looking for, but it was the answer I needed to hear to learn something. Sometimes life would give me an answer that I would just ignore, and then I'd go ahead and hit my head against the so-called wall or fall on my butt kind of thing. I am a stubborn gal at times. And if you're into signs, Taurus the bull, well, that fits me. I have dabbled into a few things, and I recognize some of the characteristics of myself. I am a stubborn one, but I also have the sneaky side to me, which I like to call the fox, who loves to come out and play. And since Fox can stop the raging bull within me with some silly techniques that gets me to laugh about the craziness that is happening in my life, I don't mind calling myself Fox1gal. Life is truly an adventure. I can't even remember when this part of my journey began, maybe 15, 20 years ago. And I tried many practices. And I studied and read about many religions, and yes, I practiced them. I read umpteen books about life, love, spiritual growth. I also have the ability to dream certain things. I finally found a path that worked for me, and I gave it a simple name. I call it the path of my heart. There was a time I thought my thinking could get me out of the troubles I had, but then one day I discovered it was my thinking that was the cause of most of my troubles. So I'd like to share some of my processes, and if you see something that might work for you, please take it. And if you don't like what you hear, turn this off. Remember, this is a story and I'm not an expert. And I'm not going to claim that I have the answers. I think more that I learn, the less I know. Have you ever heard this idea, free your mind? That is the process I embarked on way back then. So, there was a time I had to figure out who I was versus who I thought I was. It would take me some time and some work, many ups and downs, taking long looks in the mirror about who I was and asking the questions, why do I keep doing this? Is there another way? Learning to take responsibility for my actions and stop blaming everyone around me for what was happening to me was truly a challenge. So from my point of view, there is a difference. I also want to make this clear as I share some of my adventures. This is not about hating the mind. The mind wants to be right. Most of the time it would rather be right than be happy. I have been told since I can remember I live in a free country. But as I watch many of my freedoms being taken away in the name of safety, you have to wonder where this country is headed. So maybe now is not the time for looking out there for others to give this to us. Why not give it to ourselves first and see what happens? This is just a thought. If you want to experience personal freedom, I wonder if we need to break free of our mind and end the war between our mind and ourselves and lovingly take control of our thinking. I don't know if it's because I was so stubborn or so stuck in my head way back then that it would take me years to do this very thing, and it's still a process in the works. I sought many teachers, and until I realized I had to do this one on my own, I would pretty much just chase my tail. How I knew I had to do this was, well, I just had to look at my life experiences to see what was working and what was not, and letting go of those things that were not working, and not be afraid to try something new. As I look around today, I see the world going crazy. Trying to make sense of what is happening on planet Earth is what I'm interested in. I do have the understanding that I cannot change out there and never could. I can change how I see life by understanding what is happening within me. I'm not looking for utopia or some Pollyanna type story with a happily ever after ending. I just want to know why we are really here. I just want to know our true history. I have a feeling many things have been kept from us. I just keep wondering why. No one likes to be lied to or tricked, but it seems we keep doing the same thing over and over again, wishing for something different. I want a world that I wake up in, that everyone wants to be there, and they actually show up for life, to really want to be there, and take responsibility for whoever they are, and never imposing it on someone else. So, we can actually be who we really are. Is this possible? Maybe getting folks to think for themselves by asking the questions, then finding the courage just to be who they are and be okay with it. Stop letting others tell you who you should be. I wonder what that would look like. I wonder if there are others out there that feel like this. I've met a few, so I know and I feel it is possible. But do we have to wait until everything falls apart to realize we have been misled by others? These are just some of the questions I keep asking, and this is just a little glimpse of who I am and what I'm about. And I'd like to say, who knows where this is going to go? Until next time, this is Fox1gal, over and out.